week number 3 in the NFL will start off on Thursday. It is the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. This is 6.5 pretty much everywhere out there right now. 38.5 to 39 is your total. We see a Patriots team that kind of looks like they've written what they want to do. You see a ton of Ramondre Stevenson. We saw a little bit more of Gibson today from them as well. Looks like they want to run the ball. We saw the Jets be at least a little bit vulnerable to the run. They lose a defensive guy today as well, I might add, that looks like it's an Achilles injury. That's not great. And then we haven't seen this Jets offense really hum for an entire, I'm not even going to say 60 minutes. We hadn't seen them hum for 40 minutes, really, in a game. So is 6.5 too much?
I probably would have played Patriots plus 7, 6.5. I'm probably staying off of. Total sitting at 39. I think if you like the under, bet it now. I don't think that stays at 39. I think the under is going to be a hot side for Thursday night. I'm going to be looking at props here. All the New England wide receivers under. We saw them not be able to move the football with their wide receivers today against the Seattle secondary. This is a very good secondary for the Jets as well. I think that's where they struggle to move the football. So Jets or Patriots wide receivers unders are probably what I'm going to be targeting for Thursday night.
Yeah, it's I think this is probably just going to be one of those sit back and analyze type games for me, because the Jets are going to be a very interesting case study for me over the next 2 weeks. Is Aaron Rodgers just, I'm not going to say just a dude, because I think you would still, if you were not betting futures here, but if you were just starting an NFL team today for one season, he'd probably still be in your top 12 picks probably. So he's not just a dude, but if he's not Aaron Rodgers, and then if this defense isn't this defense that we thought, because the thing about last year, and we have to start to move away sometimes from these things that we saw last year. Last year, the only reason this team was ever in any games was because of the defense. Quarterback play was so incredibly terrible that literally the defense was the only reason they were within 2 touchdowns of any game that they played. If that's not this defense this year, then maybe this Jets team is going to be one that I start to look at a little bit differently.
Yeah, they are. This is an interesting one for me because I had them pegged as my Survivor play. Mm-hmm. And it's a Thursday night game. Obviously not something that you want to jump on in Survivor, but they were projected to be the biggest favorites. They're currently the second biggest home favorite. The biggest home favorite, the Las Vegas Raiders, taking on the Carolina Panthers. What do you think of the Survivor ramifications for this Patriots-Jets game?
I don't think people really want to play Thursdays.
Okay. It's a tough week. San Francisco is at the Rams. That's going to be a popular one. They're 7.5. And then Denver's at Tampa. I think that's going to be the other popular one, right? But this is one of those I think that people are going to consider.
New York Football Giants are going to head on the road to the Cleveland Browns. They are going to head into Cleveland as either 6.5 or 7-point dogs. That's where we sit right now, Mike. It is 38.5 to 39 is our total. The Giants could not find a way to win today, and you had an awesome stat.
Yeah, this is crazy. First time in NFL history, a team has scored 3+ touchdowns in a game and not given up a single touchdown and lost in regulation.
That happened today for the New York Football Giants. They are going to be touchdown. It looks like, I mean, even the 6.5s are starting to get juiced out there. So people coming in, believing in this Browns team or fading this Giants team. I think it's a leap of faith to lay a touchdown with the Browns. I'm not saying it's the wrong side, but I mean, you want to talk about a tough watch? That would be a tough watch, tough sweat.
This game is going to be a tough hang, across the board. It's going to be a rough one to watch there. It's Giants or pass for me. Once we're at a touchdown, and we're already at a touchdown at DraftKings and Bet Rivers. Not laying 6.5 with this Cleveland team. I realize Giants aren't exactly wonderful. Also, back-to-back road games, not a great position there, but New York to Washington, New York to Cleveland, not the worst back-to-back road games you could have. I would be surprised if I bet this game, but like I said, it would be dog or pass.
Surprised if I bet this one as well. I mean, unless I just see something
if we get to 10, I'll take the 10. Yeah, I don't think we're getting there.
The first game I'm going to rewatch is that Browns game. I want to see if I see anything in that one, but yeah, I can't imagine this one ends up in my account. Green Bay Packers and the Tennessee Titans. This is a whole point difference. So anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 out there in favor of the Titans over the Packers. 36.5 to 37.5 is the total. Boy, howdy. So the Titans are favored. I mean, I understand it's at home. We just talked about them giving away 2 games 2 weeks in a row, and here they go as favorites in this one. Oh, boy.
In the Malik Willis revenge game.
In the Malik Willis revenge game.
Who knew we were going to have that in week 3? I kind of want to bet the Packers right now, just because if Jordan Love plays, I get an incredible number, and if he doesn't, I bet the Titans and just get off it for the juice.
Yeah. I mean, dude, is this like the teaser leg of the century here where you just like get them up to 8? I mean, there is a 2.5 out there right now. I mean, I don't know how long that's going to last because it's 1.5 everywhere else, but get them up to 8.5. Like, are the Titans ever winning a game at margin? Without like a couple of defensive scores or something?
Well, that's the problem, though. If this is the spot, we got to remember the only reason that the Packers were anywhere decent was because of the rush defense from Indianapolis today. If it were not for that rush defense, this would not be one of those situations where you'd be excited about backing anything with the Packers here. The Titans this week faced the Jets, gave up 4.2 yards a carry, so did give up some explosives on the ground there. Oh, man. I like the idea of betting the Packers outright and hoping for love more than I like the idea of putting this in a teaser leg and ending up having to root for Malik Willis to bust through the back door.
I mean, I guess that's true. I just look at this and like in years past, if you saw a total sitting at 37 and you could get 8 and 8.5 and a total of 37.
Yeah. No, it's not a great teaser leg from that perspective. I totally agree with you.
You would just do it blindly because you're like, I'm getting 8 points in a 37 and I'm going to do it. But the Malik Willis factor we saw today, again, the line for Malik Willis is going to be a little bit deceiving because 40 of those yards came on a 50-50 ball that he hucked up that Dobbs just jumped over the defender and caught. And then another one was literally 2 inches from being a pick six, and it just goes right over the defender's hands, and then it gets – so, boy.
It is a teaser week, too.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, you've got a game at 1, you've got a game at 7.5, you got another 7 that I bet goes to 7.5. Well, maybe not. You got 2 games at 2.5. So there's a lot of options from a teaser perspective here, week 3.
This one, I'm going to throw this in the maybe category.
Yeah.
Throw this in the maybe category.
No bets written down yet.
Yeah. Throw this in the maybe category. Philadelphia Eagles at the New Orleans Saints. Of course, the Eagles haven't played yet in week number 2, but this will be up. It'll be pulled before the game tomorrow. They are currently just 2.5-point favorites over the Saints.
You say just. This is the best team in football.
48.5 to 49.5 is our total here in this one. Clint Kubiak and the Saints go out, throttle the Cowboys today. They'll be welcoming the Eagles in, but we don't know what version of the Eagles are going to be in there. How bad is this injury to A.J. Brown? Do they come out of this next game unscathed, et cetera, et cetera? I'll just hang out on this one, I think.
Yeah, this one opened 3. We've already seen money come in on New Orleans. They're pushing it to 2.5. There's juice 2.5s on both sides in the market. So this is one of those games I think we're going to see two-way action as we go out throughout the week. I think a lot of people are also going to wait till to see the Eagles and what we get from them tomorrow night before they pick a side here in this one. Again, this might be one you want to tease now. Taking New Orleans up to 8.5 with what they've seen from that offense, I think is a decent look there.
Broncos and the Bucks. This is, you ready for this?
I can't wait.
7, a full touchdown at some spots. There are some 6.5s. 39.5 is the total in favor of the Bucks at home over the Broncos. Broncos have not scored a bunch of points through 2 weeks. The Bucks look pretty good, all things considered, considering they're all kinds of banged up in this. We're talking kind of off air about just very, very early thoughts on Survivor, very, very early thoughts on teasers and stuff for the week. There's going to be a lot of games that get to a touchdown, maybe more, that you might want to look at from that aspect. And the Bucks are at least going to be talked about when it comes to Survivor as well.
Yeah, they are. And if you want the 6.5, I would scoop it up now. This opened at 6. 92% of the bets have been on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so far, just 8% on Denver. We've seen this move to 6.5 at most books. There's already a 7 over at DraftKings. So if you want the 6.5 in the Bucks, go take it now. I don't think I'm going to jump in quite yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if I end up playing the Bucks minus 6.5 here. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be able to take care of the banged up secondary that Tampa Bay has. I thought they actually played very well against Detroit this week as well. And this Tampa Bay Bucks offense seems like it's pretty good, especially against like the defense for Denver when they're facing one good wide receiver You've got Surtain that can kind of shut them down. When you get to a second and third good wide receiver, all of a sudden that's going to create problems for Denver's defense.
Yeah, I'm going to hold out for just a little bit. So watching this one, Vita Vea leaves the game for the Bucs as well. So it's just like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. And so I'm just going to see what the health of this team looks like. If I miss out on the 6.5, I guess so be it. Maybe it'll be something I feel confident enough when it's all said and done about playing in a teaser. But man, it's just like these teams that came in beat up this week got even more beat up, and I just need to figure out what's going on there. The Rams included, in that discussion. Carolina Panthers and the Las Vegas Raiders. This also a full touchdown in favor of the Raiders. 37.5, 38. Man, lots of totals in the 30s already that we've already hit. 37.5 to 38. We've seen the Panthers look like the worst team in the NFL. Very well might be the worst team in the NFL. We see the Raiders get a nice win this week where they battled back and fought pretty good. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Gardner Minshew went out. He made some throws that he needed to make. And listen, when you have Devontae Adams on your team, and now you add in a Brock Bowers as a true second option for this squad, like I saw some things today that make it look like they can be competent.
The floor is higher than most people think for this team. The ceiling is not super high. That's what I've been saying for weeks. But the floor is higher with the talent that they have. You've got Max Crosby. You've got Devontae Adams. You've got Bowers, who seems like a legit number 2. We gave out the over 3.5 receptions. He flew over that today. He was over it early in the third quarter. Man, I can't lay 7 with this Raiders team, though.
No.
I want to see what happens in this market because the Panthers have been the market darling through 2 weeks, and it's not gone well if you back the Panthers.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. Will they take money here?
Probably. It's a full touchdown.
It's
the Raiders.
Touchdown. Yeah. Yes.
It's a full touchdown. It's the Raiders. I mean, probably. And I got to be honest, man. I wanted to find something in the Panthers today and just say, like, okay, what first game of the year? It is what it is. Like, there wasn't anything there. We talked about the stats earlier with Bryce Young, but if you weren't with us earlier, to bring it back up again, the guy had 18 completions and it went for 84 yards. That is insane.
It was bad.
That is insanity that you can complete 18 passes for 84 yards.
And Deontay Johnson does not fit in at all.
No.
Thielen, he's still probably the best guy for him to throw to. There's not weapons there that he can utilize. He's getting hit still. The offensive line isn't fixed. They can't run the football at all. The defense lost their best player last week and was giving up chunk yardage on the ground. It's not one problem. It's a plethora of problems there in Carolina.
Probably didn't circle this game on your calendar when you were doing your planning for Survivor, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the most popular play in Week 3.
We talked about this yesterday. Why would people use the Chargers? Well, it's your chance.
Yeah.
Why would you use the Raiders? Probably your chance.
Yeah.
Right? You're playing the worst team in football. Is this the week you take the shot?
At home. You're playing the worst team in football at home.
They've got to travel across the country.
And if you're willing, I guess this is the question you have to ask yourself. If you were willing or at least heavily considered playing the Chargers this week on the road, then why would you not play the Raiders at home? Where is the difference in your power ratings between those two teams? Because in mine, there really isn't any.
I think the Raiders are actually a little better. I bet them Week 1. I thought that, and I've been saying they've been better for a while, and I thought they outplayed the Chargers in Week 1, and it was some bonehead decisions, which, I guess Antonio Pierce has to factor into your decision whether or not you want to use them in Survivor here. But it's going to be top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's the number 1. It's going to be on my short list. I'll see if anything, comes out throughout the course of the week that gets me off of it, but going to be on my short list.
Nothing like putting $14.2 million on Gardner Minshew winning a football game.
Hey, I'm putting it on Max Crosby and Devontae Adams. All right, I'm not looking at Gardner Minshew. Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. This is 6.5 in favor of the Seahawks at home over the Dolphins. 41.5 to 42 is our total here in this one. As we know, Tua Tagovailoa suffers a concussion. He's out. My guess is at least several weeks, and I wish him nothing but the best, but Mike, buddy, if we see him play again, can you imagine just the thought we're going to have every single time anyone even comes close to him. I mean, it's just, not to get off on a tangent here, but man, that was scary, scary, scary.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't want to tell someone how to live their life, right?
Me neither.
And what to do with their career. And so whatever his decision is his decision, and he's got to weigh in the factors of his career and what he wants to do in life and his family and the risk. And so it's his choice, and I don't want to try and make that choice for him. I think that's something that you kind of have to let him do. But I like selfishly, as a Dolphins fan, every time he steps on the field, I'll be scared. I'll be nervous. And so it's how I'm going to feel. But again, it's up to Tua on what to do. And I don't love everyone coming out and saying he should do this, he should do that. Like, it's the man's decision. Let the man make a decision about his career and his life. I think you got to assume this is Skylar Thompson and moving forward. We had the Tannehill rumors. We actually had a couple Brady rumors to this Dolphins team over the last week. Man, it's tough for me to want to back this Miami team without Tua. Because when you look metrically at how good he has been consistently for this offense, he's top 4 in pretty much every metric. He gets the ball out so quickly. This isn't a great offensive line that he has been behind. Now you have Skylar Thompson come in. We kind of know what he is. He's not great with timing, not great with releasing the ball as fast as you would like. This Seattle defense looks like they're well fit to play against Miami's offense. I would almost be interested in a Miami team total under in this game. I do think that Seattle has success against the defense as well. So for me, it is Miami team total under or Seattle or pass.
Detroit Lions on the road at the Arizona Cardinals. They are a field goal favorite over the Cardinals. 51.5 to 52 is our total. If you watched this past week, you saw the Lions struggle pretty mightily. You saw Jared Goff play a pretty bad game. He was under pressure, and when he was under pressure, he made bad throws, including a couple of interceptions. The Cardinals, on the other hand, just absolutely trashed the Rams. Rams beat up at every single level, both sides of the ball, Mike. Field goal in favor of the Lions. I actually agree with the high score. I mean, it seems like with the defense the Cardinals possess and then the way the Cardinals offense has looked and the Lions, I mean, I agree with the total being the highest total of the week, but what do you think about a field goal?
I think it's about right. It opened 3.5. You got some Cardinals money early to push this down to 3. I agree with the total too. It should be one of the higher line games. You got to remember this Arizona defense is not going to look as good as they did this week against the Rams offense. That was a really banged up offensive line that lost another piece inside the game. I am very interested to see the Detroit defensive line against this Arizona Cardinals. I'm sorry, the Detroit offensive line against this Arizona Cardinals defensive line because they should not have any issue with them. We'll see if they do. I would expect they're going to be able to protect Goff, and if so, he should have open receivers to throw to here. It's another one. I think it's right. Mm-hmm. I think we should be between 51 and 51.5 on the total. I think we should be at 3. I would be more interested in Detroit at 2.5, more interested in Arizona at 3.5. So I can't get this one in the account.
When the props come out in this one, depending on how high they make the rushing prop for Kyler Murray, we see Aiden Hutchinson just absolutely eat today. He's probably going to do the same here, except you have an extremely mobile quarterback and also one that just feels pressure very well. If there's anything that Kyler Murray does very well, he feels pressure, knows when to tuck and take off, right? Yeah. And he is very, very good at that. And I'm not saying Aiden Hutchinson's not going to have a sack. He'll probably have a couple sacks in this game, but I think he's going to force – we're going to see like probably 5-6 scrambles out of Kyler Murray in this game. And so depending on what they put the prop number at, we'll have to see when it comes out.
Yeah, that's going to be one to watch. I think it's going to be interesting to see what we get from a Marvin Harrison Jr. number as well. We saw the dud week 1, the breakout week 2. Are we going to get somewhere in the middle? What are we going to get from him? You're going to most likely see him against Terry and Arnold. So you got a rookie-on-rookie matchup there, cornerback and wide receiver. I think that's going to be a fun one to watch in this game. Prop-wise, man, I going to be interested in Gibbs and Montgomery's rushing totals. I do think that the Lions are going to be able to run the football, and it feels like this is one of those Dan Campbell screaming at the wall, we're going to run through it, we're going to run through them, let's go type of games. So I would be interested in seeing what the rushing totals are for both those players.
49ers at the Rams. This is 7.5 in favor of the Niners on the road at the Rams. 45.5 to 46.5 is our, actually this is all the way 44.5 all the way to 46.5. So a 2-point difference between the books out there. From a total perspective, Rams get beat up again this week. Cooper Kupp has to leave the game. Puka Nacua, we already know, is gone. I don't know if we'll have Cooper Kupp back again. He was the only one that we really haven't gotten any sort of update on in this one. So You have to assume probably, though, not going to be out there, Mike. I think you would have to at least assume not going to be out there. We know Christian McCaffrey's not because he was placed on IR.
I would assume no. We'll see. We'll see what happens with him. We'll have to follow that one as we go along. This is going to go one way. This is going to go San Francisco's direction. This is a LA Rams home game, but it's not. There will be as many San Francisco 49er fans in that stadium as Rams fans. I think this is a great teaser leg here.
Yeah.
San Francisco right now it's 7.5. Most places there are some juice 7s. I'm going to take them down. I just need to find another leg to put with the Niners here.
If we assume no Nakua and no Kupp, I don't really care. There's going to be no chance. I mean, we saw what happened today to this Rams team.
I have more concerns about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Even with Kupp. If you have no Nakua, and Nakua's not going to be there officially. He's out, right? You saw what the Cardinals did early, which was just double Kupp. Say, okay, someone else beat me, and we can rush the passer with ease. Yeah. That is a recipe for disaster against a Niners line that should be able to wreak havoc in the backfield. So, I think this is Niners teaser, and if there was a 6.5, I'd probably play the Niners, but there's not.
Baltimore Ravens, Dallas Cowboys. This is interesting. So 1 point in favor of the Ravens at some spots. There is a pick'em out there. There's also a spot where the Cowboys are favored by 1 as well. 47.5 to 48 is our total. So we can expect this one to ping pong.
Yeah, if you have FanDuel right now, go on Baltimore plus 7.5, tease them up, and tease San Francisco down. That's the only place I'm seeing a 1.5 where the Cowboys are favored. There's a 1 at Bet Rivers, so if you want to play a teaser there at Bet Rivers, you do have that option as well. So there's a couple places you could try and get it in here. I like Baltimore. Mm-hmm. I like Baltimore laying the 1. They're 0-2. You're going to see a very, very, I would say, aggressive effort here from Baltimore. And I didn't see anything from Dallas. And last week's performance against that Cleveland team seems not as impressive after we saw them really struggle with Jacksonville and not look good today either. So I like the Baltimore side of this.
I look at this total and the 47.5, Mike, if this Ravens defense is not as good as we thought, if this Cowboys defense is not as good as we thought, we expect that the Cowboys at least put up a little bit better performance, right? Cowboys offense can't be as bad as it was today, can probably only be better. Defense maybe gives up a little bit to Ravens. That's going to be a look for me, I think, when it's all said and done.
My only concern there is it's CeeDee Lamb and nothing. Like nothing with Jake Ferguson out.
Yeah.
There is no offensive threat for the running game is non-existent, right? You got a CeeDee Lamb who's very, very good, but he is the only person I'm scared of even a little bit there. The number 2 wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about this Dallas offense as much as I am the Dallas defense.
There is, and I'm glad you brought that up because there's disagreements out there right now. I mean, it's only through 0, but it's key because you can make a teaser leg. Yeah, you can make a teaser leg out of this thing. So not really that significant if you're just betting this thing straight up on a side. But like if you did want to get in a teaser, you could go either way with it. Really, if you wanted to, either side with this one. Both of these teams disappointing though through 2 weeks. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, both are disappointing. I don't think either side's a bad teaser. I prefer the Baltimore up than the Cowboys up. I don't think either side's bad.
Me neither. Kansas City Chiefs, Atlanta Falcons. 4.5 in favor of the Chiefs on the road over the Falcons. 46.5, 47 is our total. We saw the Chiefs escape with a win at the buzzer over Cincinnati today. Travis Kelce not gotten involved with this offense at all through 2 weeks. Xavier Worthy still trying to get some touches into his hands. We didn't see that at all. And Hollywood Brown goes on IR, supposedly out for the rest of the season. And the Falcons looked like one of the worst teams in the NFL in week 1. Again, we'll see what they look like here in week 2. I want to say we should probably bet the over in this game, but given the state of the Falcons, that I saw in week 1, and just having to assume that the Falcons are what we saw in week 1 until I can see with my own eyes that they're not, I can't do anything.
The Chiefs' red zone struggles combined with the fact that we don't know what to expect from the Falcons is enough for me to just no thanks, right, on the over. If anything, it's Chiefs 4.5 because if Cousins is as bad as I think he could be this or tomorrow night, then that's going to look like a great number. I'm going to pass for now, though. I don't need to get Chiefs on the road over a field goal here. But again, it's Cousins on a Sunday night. We know about Cousins primetime. Well documented how he does on primetime. So if you do want a little piece of the Chiefs, my guess is if Cousins doesn't play well, this is close to 7. If Cousins is as bad as he was week 1 and everyone watches,
okay.
This could it will at least be 6.
And people like the Chiefs anyway.
Yes.
People want to bet the Chiefs.
So if you want your Chiefs money, I would say, like, okay, let's say they play decent. This is never going to 3. What's the, like, if you're going to bet the Chiefs when it's on Sunday, why not bet it now?
We have 2 Monday night games.
We do.
This coming week. The first of which is the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. This is 5.5 to 6 in favor of the Bills over the Jags. 46.5 is our total. The Bills with Josh Allen. I'm done doubting Josh Allen in any capacity at this point. The guy is just a beast. And I think you can pretty comfortably say top 3 quarterback in the NFL, maybe top 2 quarterback in the NFL. With all that, the Jags handed 2 games away this week. What would make you think that they wouldn't lay an egg here in this one over in Buffalo?
If you have quarterback rankings and your 1 isn't Mahomes and your 2 isn't Allen, your quarterback rankings are wrong.
Yeah.
I think it is really that simple here. I think it's Buffalo at the 6. I'm close to laying it. There's a 5.5 in market right now. That's over at FanDuel. I'm going to let this one marinate. I don't think it gets to 7 quickly. And 7 is the number I'm scared of giving up. I'd much rather find a regular priced 5.5. I think we'll also have a lot of time to bet into this one as well. But Buffalo, a little extra time to prepare. Jacksonville off a tough game or a physical game, I should say, against the Browns there. So I do like Buffalo here. Remember, Thursday to Monday as well. So basically a mini bye here for Buffalo.
Our second Monday night game, Washington Commanders, Cincinnati Bengals. This is a full 7.5 in favor of Cincinnati at home. We see Washington go out. They win. It was not impressive. We talked about earlier that Jaden Daniels has not been allowed to throw the ball down the field. I don't know if the handcuffs are on him or if he's making that decision, whatever it is. We haven't seen him throw the ball further than 20 yards down the field yet, despite the fact that he was one of the best deep ball throwers in all of college football last year. Cincinnati looks a whole bunch better today, even though they don't win. You and I were talking about this, like maybe this is a survivor pick for some people out there. It's not going to be for me. I'm going to wait until I get the healthy version of Cincinnati before I want to go play them. So more power to the people out there who go that direction. I don't think it's going to be me.
Yeah, it won't be me either. This is going to be a prop game for me. I can tell you right now, Brian Robinson Jr. going to make the ticket. I want to play against this Bengals rush defense until the books really start juicing up the rush totals against them. Jaden Daniels, what do you think his rushing prop going to be next week?
58.5.
Wow, you think it's going to be that high? Yeah. I was hoping we get low 40s. You think it's going to be over 50?
I think they're not going to mess around anymore with what we've seen because he's
another one I'd be interested in.
Yeah, he is quick to pull it down and go. As he should be, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a talented offense as it is anyway.
Well,
you're maximizing your chance of winning by running more.
He also gets put under a ridiculous amount of pressure and then runs away from it.
Yeah.
And is Houdini back there? He's got some Lamar Jackson type talent when escaping the rush. I still am very concerned about it getting hurt this year. But until he is, I do like some of those rushing numbers, especially low 40s, high 30s. I'm interested. 50s, I'd probably back off.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.